Hey, and welcome back for more X-Files. Today we're looking at Fresh Bones, episode 15 of season 2. Debuting on the Fox network February 3rd, 1995, Fresh Bones follows Agents Mulder and Scully as they investigate the alleged death of a Marine, which leads them to unearth a disturbing secret at a Haitian refugee camp. The episode begins as a young mother checks on her husband, who seems to be a bit under the weather. He's been plagued by awful nightmares and refuses to see anyone about them, instead taking his frustrations out on his wife and child.
Will you do that?
I just like to eat my breakfast in peace!
Do you think that's possible?
He's not the most caring man in the world, and poor Robin, aka Peggy Odell, just can't seem to catch a break. Just last year, she was a teenager that was suffering from alien abductions and died after being hit by a truck, and now she's in an abusive relationship with a Marine that sees maggots in his cereal. After seeing a grim reflection in his rearview mirror, Jack veers right off into a tree. The agents are now on the case for some reason. Jack died as a result of his crash, but I'm not sure why the agents would be called in for a case such as this. The military claim Jack took his own life and won't let his wife look any further into what happened, which is why she took it upon herself to contact Agents Mulder and Scully.
Looks like some kind of ritual symbol.
Most of the refugees at Folkestone are Haitian.
The agents meet with Robin, who tells them of Jack's recent nightmares he's been having, and Mulder asks if he's ever believed in voodoo. Well, her body language basically says it all.
One of the boys in his squad told me what they found at the accident, and he said it was some kind of voodoo curse.
A young Puerto Rican boy took his own life at the base Jack was stationed at, and the same voodoo symbol that was on the tree was found on the stool the boy leapt from. Robin thought nothing of it, until her son dug up a seashell from the sandbox that had the same voodoo symbol.
For such a pretty lady, it's dangerous out here. You need something for protection.
The agents make their way to the Haitian refugee camp Jack was stationed at when they bump into a smooth-talking kid named Chester who sells them a protective Lucky Charm. And you would think Mulder is just doing it to be nice to the kid, but I think he bought it because he actually believes it to be real.
I'm still not clear just what it is you're investigating here.
2 of your men have died in the past 2 weeks, allegedly of self-inflicted injuries.
They speak with Colonel Wharton, who claims he's doing everything he can for his men, even flying in combat stress control detachment from Camp Lejeune. So they might get their PTSD under control, but now they'll have toxic water to deal with.
A certain ritual sign was found at the scene of both deaths. Is there anything you can tell us about that?
Apparently it's some sort of voodoo marking.
A riot at the camp broke out due to some voodoo ritual, which ended up causing the death of the young boy. The colonel places all the blame on a prisoner named Pierre Beauvais, so Mulder asks if he can speak to Beauvais while Scully checks on Jack's body.
I saw no reason to conduct an autopsy then, I still don't. Well, you can see for yourself. What kind of a sick joke is this?
Oh, I didn't know Jack was an anamorph. Mulder speaks with one of Jack's friends, Harry, and he has no idea why Jack would have taken his own life.
You do not believe I was involved in this, do you?
How could I be when they keep me locked up in here?
Mulder speaks with Beauvais but doesn't make much ground. He shows Beauvais the photos of the voodoo symbols found and asks him if he incited the riots, but Beauvais just talks in circles.
Somebody stole McAlpin's body and replaced it with what looks like a dog's corpse.
They will only warn you once. After that, no magic can save you.
The agents drive back to their motel and Mulder places the charm on the mirror simply as a precaution. Scully poo-poos over the idea of voodoo magic being real and says it's much more likely the power of suggestion than anything else. Just wait until she meets Pusher.
Scully, look out!
Well, it looks like Jack is back. Somehow. He's not speaking and doesn't respond to voice, touch, or even pain. He seems to be fine otherwise, but Scully does find trace amounts of tetrodotoxin in his system.
What do you know about zombies?
Well, I hope you don't intend to tell Robin McAlpin that she married one.
Mulder then rants about Haitian voodoo zombies and how this poison in small amounts can cause paralysis and make someone appear clinically dead. The agents make their way to the local cemetery to find the body of the other Marine that took his life, because Mulder has some suspicions now that Jack has come back.
Why would they bury Private Gutierrez here?
Yeah, why bury him in the pet cemetery of all places? They meet with the groundskeeper, but he tells them the agents are too late as the body was taken by body snatchers. Hey, I didn't realize the Vancouver cemetery was all the way out in North Carolina.
They dug him up right under my nose. How's he supposed to rest in peace like this?
Bodies are being dug up and sold, mostly to voodoo practitioners, and the groundskeeper and his dog, well, they just can't keep up with it. Just then, they notice little Chester digging away at a grave. The groundskeeper sure was quick to pull out his gun on a little boy. Chester wasn't digging up bodies, no, he was just simply catching some frogs.
Maybe I should kiss a few and find out if one is Gutierrez.
Yeah, I now identify as a frog. Chester sneaks in and out of camp snatching up frogs, which he sells to Beauvais for his voodoo magic. Mulder notices that they're being followed, so he tells Scully to stay behind and watch Chester while he investigates.
Out of the car, Private. You've been following us.
It's Private Harry Dunham back from the base, and he's come to warn the agents that they're getting themselves into something they don't understand. Beauvais warned the colonel that unless his people were sent back to Haiti, his men would go missing one by one.
Colonel Wharton sanctioned beatings of the refugees?
He ordered it. And worse, things he is making us do to those people.
The agents get back to their car and Chester is bolted. They track Chester down and Mulder gives chase, but what is going on with Scully's face?
Chester!
Either Chester went for a dip in the water, or he too is an anamorph. The agents return to the colonel and ask him about his apparent abuse of the refugees, and he just laughs it off, claiming Beauvais is the one spewing these lies. The agents leave, and when Scully attempts to start the car, she's cut by some kind of thorny vine wrapped around her steering wheel. Mulder asks to see it, but she says it's nothing and throws it out the window. Mulder gets to his motel where a playing card drops, which leads him to County Road 10. He's met by X, who tells him he only has 24 hours left. After that, only military will be allowed inside.
3 U.S. soldiers took their own lives. Of those men, 2 were under Colonel Wharton's command.
You're saying the military is sanctioning Wharton's revenge?
The military is going to cover up the actions taken against the Haitian people by the colonel and his men, and there doesn't appear to be anything Mulder or Scully will be able to do about it. Scully's in her room and notices her little cut from earlier looks rather infected. She goes in Mulder's room to speak to him and finds water and blood coming from the bathroom.
Oh, God.
She goes inside and finds the body of Private Dunham in the bathtub, and then a blood-soaked Jack comes in with Mulder right behind. The agents interrogate Jack, who can now all of a sudden speak, but he has no memory of leaving the hospital or killing his friend.
Well, we'd still like to speak with Beauvais.
I'm afraid that's impossible.
Why?
Because he's dead.
The agents wish to speak to Beauvais to see if maybe he had any contact with Jack, but wouldn't you know it? He just happened to go and take his own life with a rusty bed spring. Scully is starting to experience headaches and she's still nursing her hand, but as a medical doctor, you'd think she would have at least cleaned her wound by now.
Now they're saying he's killed Harry.
He said it himself. He signed the confession.
I don't care.
Robin tells the agents Private Dunham was on his way to see them before he met his end, but told Robin to give them something if he didn't make it. What she hands them is a badly photoshopped photo of Beauvais and the Colonel, and it looks like they may have known one another while the Colonel worked in Haiti.
Come with me, please. Take the light out of my eyes.
Where's Wharton?
The agents were snooping around the Colonel's things when they're confronted by one of his men. He's about to bring them to the Colonel when the agents show him the remains of Private Gutierrez.
Now where's Beauvais' body?
We buried him this afternoon in the municipal graveyard.
At the graveyard, there's some spooky shenanigans going on as the Colonel pulls Beauvais' casket from the ground. Mulder and Scully pull up and Mulder asks her if she's okay because she's been looking kinda rough as of late. She says she's fine and Mulder heads off after the Colonel without her. Look, I don't do drugs, but even if I did, I still don't think I would be high enough for this. While Scully's getting choked by a Haitian man that just came out of her hand, Mulder confronts the Colonel, who's seen Child's Play one too many times.
Drop the knife, Warden.
S2E15. Give me the power, I beg of you!
The Colonel stabs a voodoo doll, maybe, which causes extreme pain for Mulder. Then Beauvais rises up behind him and blows some powder in his face, which seems to do the job. And that was the last time Scully ever did mushrooms. The charm they got from Chester seemed to do the trick, and now all of a sudden there's another black cat. Scully finds Mulder and he seems to be okay. The Colonel, however, is dead, and Mulder claims Beauvais killed him. The agents return to the base and all the Haitians are now being sent home since the Colonel is no longer around to abuse them. And our agents learn of something rather chilling.
Is this a complete list?
As far as I know.
There was a boy, his name was Bonaparte. Chester Bonaparte?
Sure, Chester. Poor kid. He died 6 weeks ago in that riot.
Well, it turns out Chester was the young boy that was killed and has been dead this whole time. Try explaining that one away as swamp gas, Scully. Fresh Bones is another really good horror offering. We don't get a lot of movies or shows with voodoo zombies or just voodoo in general, which is a shame because it's such a unique idea. The cast all do a great job, and this episode boasts some really good practical effects work. One of my favorite shots in the entire series is when the fingers come out of Scully's hand. All they did was cover the fingers of an actor with gelatin and push them through a fake hand. So simple and yet so effective. The series makeup effects artist Toby Lindala said, "We had a mechanical hand and had a guy doubling the actor's hand stuff his fingers up through it. There was gelatin skin on his hands, which I thought played very well and was believable and fleshy. The hand double had tubes attached to his fingers, so as he pushed up it tore it open a little bit and you see the plasma and the skin rips. They played that so well in the final cut." The episode currently has a 7.1 and for me it's an 8. Like I've said in the past, I'm always more drawn to the horror episodes, and this one definitely checks that box. Most critics aren't as kind as I am though, seeing it as fairly average. Chris Carter felt the episode was one of the best of the second season, and praised writer Howard Gordon and director Rob Bowman for what they were able to pull off. Howard Gordon wrote the episode after reading articles about US soldiers taking their own lives while stationed in Haiti. They wanted to film in Haiti but were unable to, so the script had to be changed to a refugee camp instead. The episode began filming in late December of '94 and wrapped up in January of '95. The refugee camp was shot in an old shipyard in Vancouver, and during the graveyard scenes they had to use sump pumps because they happened to be filming during an especially rainy season. During one part of the episode, Mulder mentions a man named Wade Davis. Wade Davis is an anthropologist and ethnobotanist who got his claim to fame with his 1985 book, The Serpent and the Rainbow. The Serpent and the Rainbow is about his experiences with a man named Clairvius Narcissi, a Haitian man who claimed to have been turned into a Haitian voodoo zombie and forced to work as a slave for 2 years. According to Wade's book, tetrodotoxin from a pufferfish and various other ingredients like the freshly ground skull of an infant, freshly killed blue lizards, a large dried toad, a dried sea worm, albizia, and mucuna were all used to paralyze the man, leaving him seemingly dead. However, some cried foul of Wade's claims, as the tested material brought back showed little to no tetrodotoxin. His book would go on to inspire the underrated 1988 Wes Craven horror film, The Serpent and the Rainbow. The film stars Bill Pullman and loosely follows what Wade described in his book. The symbol painted on the tree and various other surfaces throughout the episode is known as a veve, a religious symbol used throughout voodoo and other religions as a beacon for the Loa, which are spirits found in Afro-American religions. Colonel Wharton was played by Daniel Benzali. The producers were originally hesitant to hire him for the role because he didn't exactly look like the military type, but agreed that his acting chops were exactly what they were looking for. Daniel has had a career spanning over 30 years and received a Golden Globe nomination for his role in the 1995 television series Murder One. Bruce A. Young played the role of Pierre Beauvais. He got a start in the 1981 film Thief and is best known for his role as Captain Simon Banks in the sci-fi police show The Sentinel. He's also had some smaller roles in films like Basic Instinct and Jurassic Park 3. Jamil Walker-Smith played Chester and is an actor, writer, director, and producer. He's best known for voicing the character Gerald in the Nickelodeon animated series Hey Arnold, and appeared in both seasons of Stargate Universe as Master Sergeant Ronald Greer. Matt Hill played the role of Private Harry Dunham, and this guy has credits for ages. He hasn't done too much live action, but he's done a ton of voice work for stuff I've never even heard of. 96 episodes of Super Noobs, 74 episodes of Tobots, 92 episodes of Beyblade Burst, and it just goes on and on like this. Oh, and most importantly, he's the voice of Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy. Fresh Bones is another good spooky episode that may be a little confusing in its plot, but it's got some good atmosphere and creepy effects that definitely make it worthwhile. Don't go too far, because up next we have a shape-shifting alien bounty hunter and an unexpected call from Mulder's father in the episode Colony. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Fresh Bones, and please hit that like button. I really appreciate all of you that watch my videos, and until next time, stay spooky.
For some people, black magic is a way of life.
You're putting yourselves in something you don't understand.
For Agent Scully, it could be a terrifying way to die.
They warn you once. After that, no magic can save you.
Don't miss a brand new episode of The X-Files, Friday at 9, 8 Central.